What the fuck?
It's Instagram. You kidding me?
I don't know, dude.
Instagram's not that.
Oh,
also help if you front
shut up, you ass lick.
The cooking is gone. Okay, cool group gamers. I was trying to fix. People are saying the audio on my side sounds a bit choppy, but we're good. Just trying to make it sound clear because I want to upload it to YouTube after.
Okay, and I mean, if you want, we can always just give you our copy.
Okay, cool.
We'll see. We'll find out how we sound on we'll find out how everything sounds. We'll collaborate and we'll make it happen.
Okay.
All right.
My question was, were you guys doing the camera or you're just doing voice call? I just want to make sure that it's not a technical problem.
No, camera. We got you up. We can see.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
the thing
everything.
is, you're not showing up on my side.
Did you click the Skype camera button? Sometimes it has a line going through it. Check out.
Yeah, I clicked it.
And you can't see us?
No.
Like that.
My video is turned. Oh, there we go. We're back on.
That's weird. I don't know why it was doing that.
Okay, we're good. So you got us?
Yeah, this is actually called the Technical Difficulty Show, so welcome. We're happy to have you.
Look, it wouldn't be any other way. We wouldn't have it any other way.
Well,
it's okay.
It's where we feel most comfortable.
I actually told everybody, I go, guys, look, for once, it's not us. not blaming you for anything, but like we always have. That's because I'm using my shitty iPhone. That's why you can't hear. My iPhone is the biggest piece of shit that's like in this world. Maybe, hold on. That could be why too. Now can you hear me? Us? Can you hear? Instagram. I'm talking to you. The lighting's shitty on Instagram. Should I get lighting real quick?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Ryan said no. You guys can stay in the dark.
Or Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But welcome. Thank you so much for coming on. For the people who don't know, this is Beast Mode New York. And they run like a talk show basically. You guys can probably explain it a little better, but essentially you like do this, like interviews for TWD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like our thing, I guess.
Our niche.
We started doing it with Peter Zimmerman. He was actually the first guest we had that requested to do video because his followers wanted to see him.
Oh wow!
So that was quite the that was quite the conundrum. I don't know. We were just we're like, okay, yeah, we're like, absolutely, no problem, Peter. We got off the phone. We're like, how the hell do we do this?
The only time I'd ever live streamed was on Twitch, and I used to like live stream Halo, Call of Duty, Destiny, things like that, and I had never done it on a computer before. Yeah. And I mean, it was a cluster. It was a cluster bomb for sure.
Yeah, it was, but it worked. It actually, we had a couple of hiccups, but Peter's show went well.
Yeah, it surprisingly did.
It was the following week when we had Elizabeth Ludlow on that it was like great. It's like she had like one of the best seasons as a Rot on The Walking Dead.
And that same week, it was just convenient enough because we hit her up and we're like, hey, when did you want to be on? She's like, well, this weekend's going to be a good, a good episode for my character. How about the following Wednesday? We're like, all right, cool. Yeah. And so we had so much to ask her, and there was so much that went wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. I mean, at least, like, I feel like people on The Walking Dead, they're really nice, and they care about the fans, so they understand. My first time was, like, with Brandon Davis, and we just did a phone call interview, and I was so scared because I had just a bad laptop, and it would crash constantly. So I was just doing everything in my power to make sure that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But that was, like, probably the one good interview stream. The rest just died completely.
Yeah. We tried doing it back in the day. We tried doing it back in the day, too, on, like, my our friend Matt, who I originally started doing it with. We would record it on the camera, and then take the camera, download all the information onto his computer on his PC. It would take hours. I mean, he had an old computer. We spent more time just frustrated than anything.
And looking now, like, I feel like I look at your website and stuff. You guys look really professional too. Your whole setup, everything, it always looks so professional.
I'm flattered because I'm always like, I always try to get here early because, again, as you now know, technical issues
Yeah.
are abundant.
Yeah.
And I always try to just like mess around with OBS when I'm, when I have some downtime.
Yep.
And that's actually how I figured out about the whole Skype window thing. Because originally it was such a cluster bomb of a setup that we had. We had the Mac that was recording us and the TV behind us, and the audio from us and the TV. Then we had a laptop that was our Skype computer that had an HDMI cord that ran to the TV to play Skype off the TV, and it was just.
And we had the microphone.
Yeah, we had this little snowball microphone that plugged into a USB into the computer.
We were just wrapped in wires.
I mean, it was terrible. And once we discovered this program, I just messed around with it, and I saw an option that said window capture device. I'm like, what does that do? And I clicked it. I was like, what window do you want to use? And I said, okay, let me look at it. And it said Skype. And I'm like, all right, let me try that. And all of a sudden, the Skype window popped up like right in the middle of our screen. And I'm like, so that's actually pretty cool.
So now everybody basically gets like HD quality video. They're not even looking at the TV anymore. It's a window within a window of the, that's why, one of the reasons when I got the Mac, I was like, this thing should be able to do everything we needed to do. Yeah. And over time, it has been, which is a blessing.
That's great. It's probably the best feeling.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into doing interviews and stuff like that?
Pure happenstance.
Yeah, I mean, so look, when I started this over 3 years ago now, we had a laptop and a microphone. We did just audio podcasts. And we started doing it just as we were like, you know what? We just wanted to do it as a hobby. We'd always done something, I was always either involved in a sport or whatever, just something. And I wanted to do something without being physically active for once. I just wanted to sit down and nerd out. So, Matt and I, we used to just sit down and do 30-minute little audio podcasts on, oh my God, what's that program? Audio?
No.
I forgot. Audacity. And it really started out as a survival guide kind of thing, because we used to do zombie 5K runs, these obstacle courses.
Right,
You're getting chased by people who are actors and stuff dressed up, and then the show came into our lives and stuff like that, and we started doing the show later. I think it was season 3 or 4 we started doing it.
Wow, 4?
Yeah, season 3 or 4 we started doing it, I think. Is where we started doing our podcast from. We had a lot of catching up to do. But and then it just kind of as our channel grew, our followers were just kind of hey, why don't you try getting a guest on your show? And we were just all right, so we would reach out, and it was basically I look at it as not that we're nobodies, but it's I don't know, it was how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna get in touch with famous people? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We felt like an ant trying to climb up a hill.
Yeah.
That's how it felt, because there were so many good podcasts and stuff like that out there that even when I joined, it was kind of we felt like we were doing the impossible. Yeah, I
was how are we gonna do something different? You got Dave Solo and Walker Nation. There's the Dead Connection. There's all these locations that are down south that are around this all the time. And it's just how do you compete? How do we even do this? We're in New York.
It feels really intimidating. Yeah. Because it's just we're just random fans. How they're just going to think we're weird. Why would we?
Pretty much, yeah. It's you're going to be oh, here's more weirdos trying to get a hold of us. Sure, you got a show. Cool.
Exactly. That goes through my mind anytime I'm reaching out to someone. I'm just oh God. They're who is this weird little girl trying to reach out to?
Yeah.
Just I haven't gone as many guests as you have. Your guest list is crazy. Getting Garrett Delana, that's amazing.
That's probably one of the weirdest. Not for me. That was one of the weirdest, unexpected, weirdest days of my life. I legit just kind of went on Instagram, saw he was on, sent him a message in his messages, like I usually do. You know, like the normal, hey, how are you? My name's Chris. I do a show, blah, blah. You know, me and my buddy Ryan, we talk about this and this and this. Not even 2 or 3 hours later, hey, sounds great. I'd love to do a show. I was like, dude, what?
Fangirl moment.
Yeah, I was like, Ryan, look.
I think the closest to that, though, was probably Seth Gilliam, too.
Yeah.
Because that's when you and I were walking into work, and we're in the parking garage, and we were walking in to start our morning shift.
Yeah.
And both our phones went off. And I remember I pulled up my phone like this, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, so I see Twitter, and I see Seth Gilliam, and then it's like, hey, you guys. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I went, and he's like, what? He's like, what? I'm like, and he goes, no. And I'm like,
it was amazing.
Yeah, and he reached out to us, which was like...
Yeah, and I mean, look, not for nothing, without a lot of our followers, a lot of our people that we're friends with and follow us, can't be fooled by them because a lot of them have met these people so many times and have been able to build a rapport and a relationship with them by going to cons and just having contact with them. We owe so many thanks to, like, the people that follow us because they're like, hey, would you ever consider having this person on? I'm like, I consider having, like, anybody on. You know, like, anybody wants to come on and talk about what we like talking about, come on the show. Like, why not? And so it's just like, we've had so many of our followers who are, like, genuine to us be like, well, I could probably get you this person. And it's just like, hey, like, if they want to come on the show, absolutely. You know, I've never said no to anybody.
Seriously.
I mean... And there's, you know, there's no need to. It's all, you know, the Walking Dead family is one of the most welcoming, loving families there are that I've ever been a part of.
No, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Like, I've never been in anything like this where I feel like I'm included in everything. I've been in other, like, fandoms for, like, boy bands, but everyone's just, like, so, you know, standoffish. But The Walking Dead, everyone's so loving and, like, wanting to be friends. And it's amazing. Like, and shout out to Ramen, by the way, who's in the chat, because he's the one who actually connected me with you guys. He was like, oh, there's these guys, they also do a podcast, I think you might like their stuff, and, like, without them, none of this would have been possible, so I agree, like, it's all the followers and everyone who's, like, in the chat watching this, you know?
That was one of the, like, coolest days. It's just like, hey, you know, he reached out to me, and reading that message, I was like, this is so cool. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I went and checked you out. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this girl's awesome. Look at all the shit she does, you know? I'm like, this is great. So, I mean, and oh, by the way, your Rosita cosplay was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I was, like, trying really hard to make it as screen accurate as possible. Because I don't know. I just, like, I don't want to cosplay them if it's not going to be screen accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it did good. Linda wants to know who our first guest was. Our first actual guest would have been Peter, as far as I can recall. Like, our first, like, audio guest, and that, once again, that boiled down to Oscar Rodriguez, who hooked us up with that. I mean, without Oscar, Peter probably would have never happened. And now we have an amazing relationship with Peter. You know, like, Peter, I consider Peter, like a brother. He's, like, a great friend.
Like him and James Chen, you know.
Yeah, James Chen, like, I mean, just, and that's the thing, and once you have, like, a really good show with somebody, you know, and when you disconnect and you're one-on-one, you know, it's like, hey, look, if you know anybody who'd be interested in doing this, you know, and if you had a good time, send them our way, you know, and...
That's kind of what happened with Seth Gilliam and Xander Berkeley, actually, because we did our pre-show test call that we normally do to make sure that there's no kinks, no weird issues going on, and Xander was talking to us, and he was like, he goes, you know, Seth told me I'd have a good time tonight. And I'm like, Seth? He's like, yeah, Seth Gilliam. And I'm like, you guys talked about this? He goes, yeah, we're actually on set. We're talking about you guys. I was like, what?
Yep.
Aww.
Yeah. So stuff like that's really cool.
Yeah. And like, you guys are really chill, too. Like, chill to talk to, you know? It's just like, I guess you're two friends hanging out and just talking about something you love. And I think that makes your show really cool.
Well, appreciate it. I mean, that's all we ever really wanted to be. I mean, of course, I like to get on. I like to razz Ryan up a little bit every now and then, but that's okay.
Every now and then. So 95% of the time that we're together.
Have been so nice.
Man from my chat wants to know, what are your thoughts on Negan being DLC for Tekken 7? Do you really care or not care? Are you guys gamers?
I think that's going to be sweet.
Yeah,
I'm super excited for that.
That's going to be Ryan's territory.
Yeah.
I have an Xbox Xbox One that I just got for my birthday in July. So I've unfortunately been disconnected from video games for a while. But now I get to get back in a little bit. So I'm excited about that.
Yep. It should be fun. I have no idea what the game is, but if it's any good, it'll be fun.
Yeah. It's kind of like when they put Thanos in Fortnite.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that's really cool when fandoms can cross over like that into other things.
Right.
I don't know. It just brings more excitement, I think, for the thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I've missed any questions. But guys, if you have any questions for them, please just like say I'll try to notice it as best as I can.
That's a good question. Yeah. No, on Instagram, Nom Nom. Hey Nom Nom. She knows. A May, that's A May. Whatever, A May. Remember A May?
Yeah.
She goes, who is the one person you would consider to be the We Made It guest?
Like Andrew Lincoln, for sure.
I mean, either him or JDM or Daryl.
Yeah.
Carol. Oh,
the main cast that's been there from season 1 through 3, or like Jeffrey D. Morgan, like the top people. That'd be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like to have them be like, yeah, I do it. What got you guys into The Walking Dead?
What happened to our video? What got us into The Walking Dead? Well, I've always liked the comic. And I've always kind of like enjoyed like. Well, I think my phone froze because it is the greatest iPhone ever made.
Do you have anything like below 6? They start making it where it doesn't do that. My phone used to do that all the time.
It's an iPhone 7, but
no, it's still recording.
Did it? Well, not anymore.
Oh, you just ended it, damn it, Chris.
Of course I did. Not anymore. Go ahead, start up another one. So yeah, I love the comic. The comic to me is just so dark and intriguing, and the storyline that's the continuing and everything. And then once they started making a show about it, I didn't start watching it at first because when you go from comics to TV or comics to movie, like you're always kind of like always like when you're a DC fan, you get disappointed. And I love you, buddy.
Brian's triggered.
Yeah, triggered.
On that note, congrats to Ruby Rose on being cast as Batwoman.
Yes,
for this crossover.
I did see that.
So pumped for that.
I did see that. It's very cool. Sorry, everybody. We had a little, technical difficulties over here. My phone.
Theme of the night.
So yeah, I mean, always being wrapped up into that horror genre and loving, zombies and just I don't know, I've always kind of like wanted to open up my window one day and just see the world turn to shit and be like, well,
kind of like Zombieland when he goes to bed and everything's fine. He wakes up and like the friggin' White House is on fire.
You know what I mean? Like I kind of just I would definitely relate with that storyline. And it's like stuff like that that's like making me want to like write a book now.
I've always been, when I was younger, I was definitely afraid of horror movies, but it was like a train wreck. You couldn't not watch it. You know what I mean? And even though it gave me nightmares as a kid, I loved it. And it was one of those things that. So my mom was one half of a twin. So my aunt was like the cool aunt. She let me and my cousin do whatever we wanted, kind of thing. And so every Saturday night, I would always go over her house, and there was a Blockbuster down the road, and we'd always rent a video, and it would always be a horror movie because me and my cousin loved horror movies, but we were also deathly afraid of them. And it was what movie was that? Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Okay, I've seen that.
I think it was Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, and it's like with like the little gremlin creatures, and they like pull people into the basement and stuff. Yeah. And like there's like one little like cast iron stove in the basement, and it was like the gateway to hell and like their realm and stuff like that. And it was like it was a good movie. But it was so funny because the first time we rented it, my cousin grabbed the Spanish version by accident. So we popped the VHS in.
Yes.
And my aunt was like Tyler, the hell is this? And it's like Espanol. It's like, well, we're not watching this movie.
Can't be scared of that now. Now it's just entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, horror movies never scared me. I mean, I always knew that was the niche, like it was supposed to scare you.
Yeah.
You put on Jaws and you can't find me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere around. So, you know, because Jaws to me isn't like a horror movie. That's realistic shit. Like, yeah, like now you're talking reality.
Yeah.
I went from being like top dog in the food chain to being food chain, and I'm like, no, I'm okay now. I'm good. Yeah. So
I think things are scarier when they're more realistic. Like you were like, The Walking Dead's too scary. I'm like, how is it scary? It's people in makeup. Like, you know, it's fake.
Right. And it's like, you know, could this really ever possibly happen? No. Unless, like, you know, like, people always tried to theorize, like, you know, government virus that's, you know, the government tries to wipe out the population to control things, or even some books and stuff like that have always considered a form of, like, the rabies virus.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, because rabies can make you crazy and shit. But, you know, zombies are dead. And they're back to life, so it's like, you know, whatever.
Quick question from you guys. Have any of you played the Walking Dead game?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So someone asked since season 4 of The Walking Dead is next week, what do you guys think will happen at the end? And do you think it will continue without Clementine and have a new lead? Smithy, what are your predictions? But I don't know if they're making another one. I think this is the end.
It's hard for me because I also haven't played the most recent season though.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of been put out there that Clementine dies. Yeah.
I hope not. I'm gonna have a panic attack if she dies. That's my girl.
I'm pretty sure.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I just really effed up everybody, but from what I know, Clementine don't make it out. You know what? I'm speculating Clementine does not make it out alive. I mean,
I'm
you know,
just gonna pray that that's a spoiler that you got wrong.
Absolutely, I pray too. Look, Clementine. Look, I would play that game and get so emotionally involved that I would like stop, reset it, and make a different decision because I didn't like what I did.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be like, no.
That's how I was with the Game of Thrones Telltale game.
Yeah.
I was so invested in that, and if I made like a decision that didn't turn out the way I wanted, I would get so angry I'd restart it.
Yeah. We want to know, what are your thoughts on Simon? He's a really big Simon fan, and it's so annoying, but what are your guys' thoughts on Simon? Did you like him as a character? Are you happy to see him die?
No, I was not happy that happy to see him die. Yeah. I'm a huge Trevor fan from GTA.
Yep.
So and we've met Stephen Ogg in person
twice.
And he's a great dude. I mean, he's a skyscraper of a man. He's super tall, lean and tall, and
hysterical.
Just huge smile.
Interesting fashion choices.
Yeah, interesting fashion choices. And
in Chicago, he had a moose scarf.
Yeah, moose scarf.
It was like random like moose emojis kind of, and like the like clip art version of moose, and they were all over his scarf.
I mean, I like this character. I thought without him being in the show and playing the role he did, he was the antagonist. You know, like you wouldn't have had, you wouldn't have had everything happen the way it did. You wouldn't have Negan become, you know, that Negan who kind of like we all felt like got soft. And we all felt like Negan, you know what I mean? Seriously. So like he had to come back to the forefront and be the Negan that we saw at the beginning of 7 when he happened to take 2 people out with a baseball bat. And, you know, everybody just went through the freaking roof on that one.
Kind of like how they did with Gavin, Jason Warner-Smith.
Yeah.
I think they killed his character off way too soon.
Yeah.
They could have had him play such a huge part in what was coming up with, you know, the transition between, you know, we are Negan to, you know, now we got to be part of the alliance of survivors, you know what I mean? And I think Simon would have been a very interesting character for that he would have led this rebellion against against them and try to free Negan, and maybe he could have gotten killed in this escape attempt. And that would have been a much better death for him.
I've always felt like they've killed off the wrong characters. I mean, The Walking Dead is flooded with talent right now as far as actors go. And I just feel like they killed off the wrong ones. Like, if you put Simon back in it and you put Gavin back in it, and let's say you were to take out I don't know, a couple other cogs that, maybe on the other side or something like that. Like Ryan's saying, you would have, even with Andrew leaving, you would still have a much better storyline going right now.
Yeah.
Because let's say Gavin, Jason Warren-Smith, the late Gavin, swayed and went with Ezekiel's side.
Yeah.
And you had Negan get captured with Simon still alive being that antagonist bad guy while Negan's captured.
And I think if both
Rick leaves, you still have that storyline to build on.
I don't know. I think if they
I see what you're saying though. Because Gavin and Simon could have had some kind of feud because obviously Gavin was about to turn.
Absolutely.
And Gavin was always seemed like the kind of character that could be swayed to that side. You know what I mean? Like he was always the rational, reasonable man, and Simon was kind of like fly off the handle, sociopath, psychopath, and it feels like that. Simon was almost Negan's backbone.
Yeah.
That he was his spine. You know what I mean? He gave him his guts.
Do you guys think that Negan is going to return to kind of season 7 Negan? Like he's going to get out of that soft face since now he's captured? And
I think he has to.
Yeah, I think he's going to adapt.
I think he has to. I think they need to set him free this season. Especially we don't know what episode Rick leaves. We know that he's only filmed 6 of the episodes out of the 8.
Yes.
That's what we do know. Same thing with Maggie. So I think they do need to get him out of being locked up in order to get that season to progress.
Yeah, and I know that happens in the comics too. So I think it's obviously a storyline that they'll follow.
Yeah.
But just how it will play out, and it's just really easy to overthink that he's gonna get out, kill Rick or Maggie, and that's how their lives end. But I think they're gonna give those characters a better death than that if they do die.
Yeah, and here's another thing. I don't know if you guys follow comicbook.com, which is a great site. Brandon Davis does, do a lot with, he's affiliated with comicbook.com. They just had an article out the other day that I read, which is really interesting, and it's all involving the letter A. The letter A appears frequently throughout The Walking Dead, and it symbolizes a lot of different things. There's one point where the letter A is used, we know, on Daryl's shirt.
Yep.
The letter A is used. Oh my God, what was the little kid who died? The one that Sam. He like that right before the wolves appeared. He had like this stamp. It was the letter A, and at the end of the episode, Carol takes that letter A stamp and stamps it on the porch.
Yep.
This letter A is kind of like haunted The Walking Dead. If you in the comicbook.com did such a great job revealing this. And then when you look at the promo that they released, the trailer for the new season, the helicopter has the letter A on it. So it's I don't know what the letter A means or why it's got to have its own part in the series of The Walking Dead.
But it's a common theme.
But it's a theme thing that they've done, And apparently, maybe this helicopter that's seen with the letter A on it is Rick not so much dying, but maybe being saved and kind of carried away, maybe. We don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if
anybody... I missed that article. I need to look that up.
Yeah, check it out. It's a great article, comicbook.com. They do a great job. I usually get their stuff as soon as they post it because it's it's trustworthy. You know what I mean? They don't do it unless it's trustworthy, and that's what I love about it.
No, for sure. Yeah, they're on the set. Brandon is on the set most of the time, getting this information.
Yeah.
So it's directly from the source.
I'm so jealous of that dude. He's already saw Meg, and I'm I want to see Meg so bad. And he already did the interview with Jason and him, and I'm just dude, you already watched Meg, bro. You know the movie. You saw it.
He's literally living the best life.
Honestly, yeah. He's living the life that Ryan and I want.
That's the holy shit moment for us. If we got hit up by AMC and they're like, hey, why don't you come to the viewing party and do a live cast of it or something like that, I'd be like,
yeah, absolutely.
What?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Right, that'd be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, can we go over a little bit of the trailer stuff? If you guys don't mind talking about some things on there?
Sure.
So we're basically halfway into the future. I mean, a year and a half, not halfway. My brain's not there right now. Where do you guys see the groups at now? Do you see them more torn or coming together? So it's been a while. There's the time jump. So is everything all forgiven? But obviously we see stuff with the saviors, not working out. But I mean, besides that, like the kingdom, the hilltop, those groups. It's like, where do you see them like playing out now? Just like against each other, with each other?
I think you're going to see a lot of different sides. I really do. I don't think it's just going to be the original group and the Saviors. I think you're also going to see factions in the Saviors and factions in the Survivors.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to see that there's many different sides forming.
Yeah, I mean, and then I forgot what the sign says, but they have like one of those makeshift directional things, like, and on the top it says HQ. So it's like, what is HQ now? And there's a few kingdoms not even on there.
Yeah.
There's a few that like are missing, and I'm trying to remember what it all looked like.
Hilltop's not there,
Hilltop's
so that's HQ.
Right.
That's my next question actually is, what do you think's waiting in Toledo? Or is it just a sign?
That's what I'm like. What is Toledo where Georgie?
Yeah, Georgie and like.
Yeah. I'm like, is that where Georgie's at? Is that where
the Commonwealth?
The Commonwealth? You know what I mean? Like, because that's where we're thinking that's what that group is. It's the Commonwealth. So, we're like, maybe it's that, or maybe it's another group that they're going to introduce that we haven't met yet.
Yeah.
So I just going on what Ryan said, there's definitely going to be confliction. I know that there's going to be saviors that are loyal to Negan and are either maybe planning on getting him out, trying to rescue him or whatever, and then you're gonna have the ones that are okay with it, like a lot of those people who are the workers, who are in that always downstairs in the area doing whatever, who are probably okay with it. They're happy that they're free, whatever, doing whatever they want.
They're not slave labor.
Yeah, working exactly. They're not slave labor. They're just working to survive.
Yeah.
So.
And I know that they're building, obviously. So do you guys think that Maggie shared those plans, or that they're just building because they have to build? Because obviously, the kingdom's done.
Yeah.
We're getting longer into the apocalypse. Resources run out. Obviously, gas, fossil fuel, not there anymore.
Right.
So my thing is, like, did Maggie share those plans, or is she still keeping on to that? I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I would. Well, they all are like a community now, right? It's like a traveling community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the last season, we saw them at Sanctuary, and they were gardening and doing all these things. We know about the giant windmill that's been set up down in is that Alexandria, right? That has the windmill.
Yeah.
But Alexandria was blown up partially, so it's like, did they rebuild it?
But it's also a matter of how long this time jump is.
Yeah.
I don't think they've specified how long it is. It could be.
I think it's supposed to be a couple of years.
I'm saying, but it could be like a year. It could be 2 years. It could be 5 years. We don't know.
I think Angela on The Talking Dead said it's a year and a half.
Oh,
that's the time jump. Okay. Yeah, she confirmed that it's a year and a half time jump.
I missed that, but that's good then. At least we know. I mean, a lot can be done in a year and a half if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I'm thinking it's probably shared, trying to spread the wealth and, make everything grow, like help grow everything up, rebuild society kind of thing.
Yeah. How do you feel about the new people? I know, like, I'm not sure if they're all going to be in the Whisperers or it's just Alpha or how they're, like, but they seem really oddly clean for me.
Yeah.
Like, showing them captured and stuff. I'm like, these people don't look right.
Yeah, I just hope that Alpha is played and like done the right way.
Yeah.
She is cutthroat villain.
She's cool.
Yeah, and we know it's hard to take comic book and make everything in the comic book translate to TV. I mean, Negan in the comic book, like, look, JDM, and we spoke about this with a few people. JDM has done an amazing job with Negan. But he's not the Negan from the comic. No. No. And I mean, because the Negan JDM brings, charismatic, you know, humor and like in the comic, it's like Negan. If you laugh at what he's saying, but you laugh at what he's saying because he's such an asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like he says it because he's being like this sadistic MFer, and it's like, oh, this is funny. You're like, wow, like this dude's bad, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a different type of laugh.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's kind of like, wow.
But with that being said, I also like JDM's take on Negan. I think it's good to. I say this all the time, especially with like the DC TV shows and their comic book sources they come from.
Mm-hmm.
When they give these spin to these characters that's not traditional of the comic books, it's refreshing. Because if everything was the way they were in the comics, you would know what to expect, and there would be no anticipation. There'd be no cliffhangers. There'd be no suspense build up. There'd be, you know, it wouldn't be fun anymore.
Right.
Excuse me. No, I agree, and I think that Negan is, well, the way Jeffrey Dean plays it is a good TV Negan, because I don't really think that, you know, regular Negan comic books is definitely not in any way appropriate for television. They wouldn't have as big as audience as they have if Jeffrey D. Morgan didn't play what he did.
Yeah, it's like Amber said on Instagram, Alpha must be perfect, and it's true. I mean, she's got to play. Well, I mean, besides the, you know, she's got to be perfect, Alpha. But you know, like it's true. They have to play her. The character just needs to be who she is.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. I mean, they've been able to fluff Negan a little bit. You know, you haven't heard any F words, which they're supposed to drop 2 F-bombs in season 8, and I don't remember ever hearing them. I mean, if somebody can correct me on that, but I didn't hear 1 F-bomb, and there were supposed to be 2 scripted in there. And I never heard 1. Also, someone on Instagram wanted to know, what am I doing? Oh, Amber wanted to know, when are me and you going to appear as walkers in The Walking Dead? That probably won't ever happen.
I mean, it'd be amazing if we did.
Yeah. But. And you know what? Since we complain a lot, obviously, about The Walking Dead. And that's because we're true fans, and we know that they can do like so much more.
They could be so much more.
But why is every walker the same? Why is everybody skinny and emaciated?
Yeah, why aren't they a little, you know, fluffy friendly?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, you play video games and like you see like these people, you know, these characters on game. Like, if you look at video games and the way they're done, you know, even Walking Dead video games, stuff like that. It's like, oh, are you okay?
Yeah, my throat. I'm just.
I was gonna say we can't do Heimlich from here. It's not gonna work. But yeah, it's like where's like the size differences and
where's
like,
the diversity?
Show me like the 6'7" zombie. You know, like is everybody 5?
Show me the Yao Ming. You know, zombie.
Yeah, is everybody 5'10", 6
like,
foot?
there's no children as walkers.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I'm like, kids would die first. I'm sorry, but like more than likely there'd be a lot of kid walkers and stuff.
Like,
when's the last Sophia, the last kid zombie we've seen?
Season 1.
Yeah, Sophia and the teddy bear girl.
Yeah, and teddy bear girl. We never even saw, you know, because God, I forgot his name again. Sam, he got eaten. We didn't even see him as a zombie.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I get that. You know,
it's a sore subject. I get that.
Yeah, but you know what? AMC took such a hit from people, from fans. Quote, both my fans. After the opening of season 7 with Negan taking out Glenn and Abraham, it was too gory, it was too this, and you shouldn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. You killed this, you killed my favorite person. Like, these are definitely people who never cracked the comic open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Never cracked the comic open.
That was extremely mild.
Yeah.
For the comic book.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, I don't understand it. You know, like, there's just... I get that you have to be PC to a certain extent, but you know, make it what we want it. Make it kind of like, you know, can you gear it towards the fans that are still there and are being faithful and haven't, you know, jumped off ship now. So
right, like I mean, I complain about the show. There's certain things like that, but I'm still gonna love it and watch it. So I totally agree there.
Yeah.
Blue Strike wants to know what has been the most emotional moment for you guys from like The Walking Dead, and let's just go Fear the Walking Dead too.
Maybe I'm biased, but with The Walking Dead, it had to have been Glenn and Maggie. when Glenn was about to die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And he said, "Well, I will find you."
Yeah.
And then he dies. I mean,
yeah.
I've always been a Glenn and Maggie fan. I just always have. I like Steven and I like Lauren. They're phenomenal actors and actress. Actor and actress.
Yeah.
But that was really emotional for me.
See, it's hard for me to pick emotion because I mean I don't get like that with TV shows. But when Beth died, and then Daryl had to carry her out.
I was crying oh.
Yeah.
I did that so hard. I couldn't. I love Beth too. I feel like I was one of those people that really love Beth, but a lot of people didn't.
Yeah.
And her character was just starting to grow.
Yeah, I like Beth, and that's the thing. Her character's starting to grow, so you kind of learn like, okay, she's gonna die soon. She's gonna go.
I was actually happy to see the actress, I forgot her name, that played Beth, but she was on Arrow and Flash.
Oh yeah.
Emily Kinney.
Yeah, Emily Kinney. Yeah. She's doing a lot right now with music and stuff. Her and her boyfriend, they're doing like a lot of music things together.
Yeah. She's super cute.
Yeah.
Romet wants to know, will you guys ever branch out onto Twitch?
We would. I mean, yeah, I would branch out into anything. As long as we would have to probably talk to you about that. Does it support like all this kind of stuff? I mean, don't even know.
No, it does. It's meant for all of that. It's just that I'm not good at setting it up because I'm just not really good at technology. But I mean, they even have a thing on here. That's what I'm on right now. I think there's different channels your stuff streams on.
Yep.
And right now we're streaming to the talk show portion of Twitch.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, there's just different platforms in which you could use it for. So even if you wanted to talk about different stuff, it's just a good thing to, go to and stream,
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're looking right now, we're looking to branch out into different, we were trying to get on iTunes.
Yep.
Okay.
We're trying to branch out because, being a video of, like a video cast, we kind of like lose out on a lot of the people who, can't sit and watch, and then it's on YouTube, so I know YouTube now offers the fact that if you shut the program down, you can still listen or hear it, but you have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking to branch out so that way we get more exposure and we can reach more people and be able to get build up more. I mean we're
no, sure, yeah.
So yeah, that's something we can definitely do.
Yeah, Rona says I think there's an additional audience they can capture here. Yeah, so I think you guys have already, all your fans, I love going in there because everyone's just all Walking Dead fans, and when you do it, everyone's there to talk. I mean, a lot of people here, thank God, are here supporting me just because they want to support.
Mm-hmm.
And they still listen about the Walking Dead stuff, even though, they're not all Walking Dead fans.
Yeah.
So I'm just thankful for their support. But it's amazing that how much, Walking Dead fans you guys have. You guys really do have, a community base for Walking Dead.
Well, we appreciate whoever, thank you everybody on, who's watching. We appreciate you guys coming and hanging out. We'll talk whatever you want to talk. If you got questions about comics, video games, I mean, we do love The Walking Dead, but we definitely dive into, all sorts of things.
Chris and I have also talked about this before, and, we've wanted to branch out from The Walking Dead for a while, and it's one of those things that it's kind of hard. I mean, we've established ourselves as a Walking Dead podcast, or a video cast, rather, and so, when we got Garrett Dillahunt, that was, our first step out of The Walking Dead. I mean, still in the universe, but separate from the main show, and that was cool. And then we have the stuff coming up with Jenna.
Yep.
And what's really cool was Gay, one of our followers in the UK, has become a very, very dear friend of ours.
Mm-hmm.
She was at Heroes and Villains Fan Fest in London, and she was talking to Kirk Acevedo, who played I forgot the character's name from the Governor's Crew.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Whatever. Anyways.
I can't remember.
Something. And he also played the big bad on Arrow this past season, and he'll also be a prominent character in the next season of Arrow, Ricardo Diaz. And so she talked to him and was like, she messaged us before she went to the con. She was like, hey, do you mind if I talk to Kirk about you guys?
Absolutely.
Do we mind? You know what? It's like he was literally a main series regular for the past season, and he's also a guest star next season on Arrow.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not the big bad, but he's going to be a thorn in their side. So it's kind of cool to see that. Me personally, I would love to branch off into the Arrowverse. I really would. And you know, so he followed us right after that con. He literally that night he followed us on Twitter, and I know he's been super busy filming and everything, so he hasn't. You know, we messaged him, he hasn't replied, but you know, the fact that right after the con he followed us.
Yep.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. I mean, he's filming right now too, so I mean, Gay's watching right now. She keeps in touch with us about his situation and everything, so because she you know can have communication with him, and it's stuff like that, you know, like Robin, who black and white guy. He's an artist.
Robert Overton.
Robert Overton. He's an artist for. He's one of the main artists for all the Walker Stalker con and everything. But you know, and we had him on, and he's like, you know, do you guys want to get the Arrow crew on? And we're like, I mean, I don't know much about it because I don't follow it as well as Ryan does. Yep. But once again, I will sit down and talk with anybody who wants to come on.
Yeah.
And pretty much we're pretty well rounded where we can roll with anybody and talk about anything. You know.
No, yeah.
So.
I feel the same way because it's not just that, like Star Wars, Marvel, everything, horror movies, like movies in general. That's what I normally do when Walking Dead's not on. That's what we started. We do a movie club.
Yep.
And so we watch a movie every week and then we talk about it and just break it down. What are our thoughts on those, or would you two and compare them?
That's pretty good.
But yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, we're gonna join out on your movie club when you do it.
Yes, you should. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it.
That was gonna be like one of my questions too. Is like obviously Arrow, but what other shows are you guys into?
Go ahead.
God, I'm in a lot of shows.
Yeah, he does a lot more than I do.
Like, I got a list.
As far as like shows that have already ended that I love binge watching, thanks to Chris, Parks and Rec was a big one for me.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about it like 2 months ago, and I've already watched the entire show 3 times.
Yeah. Ron Swanson's my spirit.
Yeah, I actually just got my first Parks and Rec Funko Pop, and it's Ron Swanson with a cup of coffee. You know, and I found that one. I was like, yes, I need it. So I bought that, and God, what else? Law and Order Special Victims Unit is my shiz. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, The Walking Dead. I want to get back into Fear the Walking Dead. It's really just finding the time at this point. Obviously, Stranger Things, big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Rick and Morty, love Rick and Morty. There's all the Chicago shows. That's a big one for me. Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med.
Yeah. I've seen Chicago Med. That was actually really good. I got into that for a little bit.
I got big into Chicago Fire because I used to be a firefighter, and so a lot of that stuff I like to watch it and be like, that never happened. Just you know that kind of stuff, and then I love watching Chicago PD because you know Chris you know is law enforcement. We work very closely on our job with law enforcement with many agencies. So when I see something happen on there, I'm like, that wouldn't happen like that. You know, just microanalyze that stuff. You know, like in Chicago Fire, there was an episode where the firefighter, this truck was on fire, and it was rolling down a ramp, and the firefighter runs up with a water canister, which is metallic in color, and it's usually fairly large. And all it is just straight water. It's used to put out Class A fires.
Yeah.
The nerdy shit right there, but whatever. It's, you know, normal combustibles, wood, paper, whatever. And so firefighter jumps and puts the water canister in front of one of the front tires, and the car stops immediately downhill. And I'm like, that wouldn't happen. No. It was going downhill at a 45-degree angle.
Amber wants to know, do any of y'all watch Animal Kingdom? And I'm trying to, they mean like on Discovery Channel?
Yeah, I've seen the commercials. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I used to be huge into this. I still am. I love Discovery Channel.
Yep.
I put Discovery Channel on, I can pretty much sit there and binge watch anything.
Mm-hmm.
The Planet Earth series was amazing.
Shark Week,
this got done with Shark Week. I mean, but I don't. Look, here you go, everybody. I am a huge Friends fan. I've watched Friends probably 4, 5, maybe 10 times through. Every time I watch Friends and like I watch through the season, I just find something new to laugh at. I don't know, and it's just I love Friends, man. I love that show. I think it's great. Obviously, Fear the Walking Dead. I love Fear. Fear to me has become the leader in that series. I mean,
it's surpassed Walking Dead.
Definitely, to me, it surpassed The Walking Dead, especially if you got to watch season 4. Season 4,
yes. So good.
Just amazing. And I cannot wait for the 12th to roll around. Not to mention, it is this man's birthday on the 12th.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Maddie.
Thank you.
Yo, what up, Maddie? Woo! But yeah, I think everyone has just been chomping at the bit for the 12th to get here, just to see this story continue.
Did you see that trailer? It deserves an Oscar. It was so good. It was so good.
I'm so excited. Like, here's the thing: they're including weather conditions, like storms and like things that would definitely be happening that just don't happen in the other show.
That have been overlooked.
Yeah.
I've been saying for the longest time that in a zombie apocalypse, you would have to survive until the end of the first winter.
Yeah.
At the end of the first winter, you would see a population decrease of the walkers by at least 80%.
Probably. Absolutely.
Because, yes, most of their flesh would be necrotic, but if you think about it, that frostbite from being out in the elements, if that continues, they'd have nothing.
And then once the weather changed again, it would just slime right off.
Seriously. It would speed up the necrosis so quickly.
Yeah.
And
so theoretically, you'd have a really, really short time to enjoy yourself killing them. Just saying.
I mean, there'd be some that maybe they come from climates that are their body's used to that, and maybe the necrosis will slow down.
Right. So go to Canada.
Don't go. I wouldn't go to Canada because they're probably like hardy, whatever.
The hardy MFers.
Hardy MFers.
I'm going to Canada then. I want the hardy ones.
You want the ones that'll survive the first winter?
Give me the Canucks. I want them all. I'm
fun drinking that Molson.
I'm gonna have a Canuck count. How many Canucks have I killed today?
You have a zombie. You have a zombie moose.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That might be dangerous.
So, Chris, are you caught up with Fear the Walking Dead?
Am I caught up? Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm really, really enjoying Fear the Walking Dead. I'm being so excited for it all the time.
Yeah, Fear has really, really like relit that fire for me. That fizzled out with The Walking Dead once, like, and this is where I say we beat up the show. The writing to me has just constantly just fallen off. The dialogue, everything is, like, you have the characters and the characters are amazing, but you're not giving them what they need to perform the way that they could.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're still giving us the show that we all love, but man, you're not here. You're not bringing it up notches for us. You're falling down. And Fear and the introduction of the characters that they brought with Garrett, with Jenna, bringing over Lenny, that show had, and even with the new introductions to the existing cast, has been seamless. The acting is amazing. The relationships that these people have made in such a short period of time, it translates into what they're doing on film, and it's just great. It's great. So if you have not given Fear a chance because you heard season 1 sucked and season 2 sucked, fight through it.
Yeah.
See if you know what? Fight through it. Even if you just keep it on while you're doing the laundry, or you're studying, or you're cooking dinner, or whatever, just sit in the background, just so you can hear what's going on, whatever. Make it to season 3, and you will start to really, really fall in love. That's my sound off for Fear.
Yeah, it's worth it. Just like for what's going on in season 4, and for to see not only that, but watch Alicia. Do it for Alicia and watch her character grow from season 1 to season 4. It's been one of the best character developments I've seen in a really long time. And her acting is so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, besides the obvious, it's Alicia.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Excuse me.
I'm just saying.
Night Robber wants to know: have you guys ever seen anime? Are you guys a fan of anime?
I mean, that's more your thing. I do Dragon Ball.
As an anime in the sense of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've watched a little bit of One Hit Man.
Yep.
Which is really good. But I'm not like, super into it like Naruto. A bunch of other ones that my friends watch. But I have friends that love watching anime. And I'm just mostly a Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super kind of fan.
Yeah, I'm a Dragon Ball Z guy just because it's, it's guy stuff to me, It's like, guys fighting.
I've always been a Vegeta fan.
Yeah.
And just because he just doesn't give a shit, I think that's why I like him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've liked his character development throughout. Going from Dragon Ball Z all the way up to Dragon Ball Super, and I've liked how they developed his character.
And so, are you into like action movies and stuff like that, Chris?
Of course I like an action movie. Who doesn't like a good action movie? But I don't know. I love comedies. Love a good comedy.
It was actually a really good comedy/action movie. It was Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I really like that.
That was hysterical, and I think one of the funniest parts about that was I watched it with a bunch of my friends who were also comic book fans. And there's one scene with Ryan Reynolds when he's in the park, and he's stalking who was the other actor in that?
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, thank you. So he's tailing Samuel Jackson without Samuel Jackson, trying to avoid him seeing him. And there's a guy that's actually wearing the same coat that Hugh Jackman wears in all the 3 X-Men movies.
Oh.
And he's sitting on a park bench,
Yeah.
and because Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have this love-hate relationship,
Yeah.
and because he produced part of that movie, some people are like maybe put it in there as kind of like a joke. You know what I mean? So I thought that was really cool.
Oh my gosh, that's like one of my favorite things when people can find Easter eggs or when normal movies do that, or like when Pixar puts like other animated movies into their movies.
Yep.
I don't know, it just makes me so happy. Your brain's like, yeah, I get that reference.
Yeah.
Or just like in Fear the Walking Dead, they put tapes in that like references to Eugene and Abraham. And like all the major Walking Dead fans are just in it like, yes.
Yeah.
And I also like the Disney, like a lot of the Disney movies, because you come to find out that one of the main producers for Disney confirmed that Anna and Elsa's parents in Frozen are the same parents that got shipwrecked in Tarzan and gave birth to Tarzan on the island.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Stuff like that was really cool for me. I'm like, holy shit, so that means that Tarzan is Anna and Elsa's brother. Like, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And you actually also see Rapunzel shows up to the wedding. Or, was the wedding or birthday or whatever the hell it was? I don't remember. I forgot. I haven't watched Frozen in a long time. But you actually see a character with long golden hair, and she wears the same dress as Rapunzel in Rapunzel's movie. And so some people are speculating that she's actually like a cousin of them. It's pretty cool stuff like that. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Man, if you guys are ever down, I would love to have you guys back on here. Like, to talk about, like, when the seasons are going, maybe, like, to be on an actual episode, because what we do is usually, like, break down the episode or just to talk about stuff.
We're always down for it.
All you have to do is hit us up. We're down. We'll make time for anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's just I have a class today, or else I would be talking.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all right. We get it.
What? Do you guys have any like guests coming up, or any like? Do you have a certain day you do your show, or is it just only when you have a guest?
We kind of just revolve our schedule around whatever the guests can do. On average, it's usually Wednesdays around 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. We try to pick a Wednesday. Try to get a set day. But sometimes with their scheduling and everything like that, we go either Tuesday or Thursday. We announce it though. We usually let everybody know what we're doing. We've been talking with Karen Ceesay, who plays Birdie on The Walking Dead.
Okay.
She was part of the Kingdom. September 12th, I can confirm that September 12th we were going to have Jenna Elfman on. Who
dropped the mic.
Yeah. So that's going to be a huge moment for us. Having Garrett on, which we had already, and then to have her on, and it's going to be a really, really big moment for us. So
that's amazing. Congrats.
Super excited about that.
Especially after having Garrett Dill on, not too long ago, and having her now, and I think it'll be cool to talk to her about their on-screen chemistry, because from the little bit that I have watched, like just watching clips and everything, even like that 2 minutes that I've seen or whatever, 5 minutes, it's abundantly clear there's chemistry there.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit. If you can convey that in 5 minutes, you've won me over.
Yeah.
The amount of amazingness that, like, her and Garrett have brought to the show has just been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know, just whatever they brought, it was just brilliant.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh. So if you guys don't mind staying on for a minute, I'll say bye to them and then we can talk.
Yeah.
Just keep this in order, right? Okay.
And for everybody watching us, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I was looking at my thing.
for everybody watching us, I spoke with Jenna and trying to get her to the New Jersey Walker Stalker Con.
Mm.
And she said she hasn't been invited yet. And I'm like, yeah, that's funny. So let's start attacking Walker Stalker Con with we want Jenna in New Jersey and let them know because apparently she's free. There won't be any filming issues that I know of. So let's get her to Walker Stalker, New Jersey and make that happen in December. Other than that, your turn.
So confused. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Like, I really love you guys' show, especially since like you guys are doing the same thing what I'm trying to do. You guys' like stuff is on the next level. I don't know. Like you guys, if you keep going, you guys have a really good show in front of you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it,
and you do too. I mean, you do some great stuff. So keep going.
Thank you.
We're here for you. We'll help you out any way we can.
Thank you. Yeah, if you guys ever want to know anything about Twitch or starting up on Twitch, like just let me know because it seems difficult, but it's really easy, and I don't know. It's a good way to also build like another community and just branch out in ways you're not on YouTube as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Real fast, I'm gonna shout out to Blue Strike and Rummet and Chimney. They are my mods in the channel, so like they keep people out and have been telling people your Instagram and everything like that. And
awesome.
But now, so I appreciate you guys. Blue Strike, thank you for gifting the subs with that. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. We're in a raid. So what you can do by building communities, you can like raid other streamers. So it takes our viewers and puts them in that channel.
Oh wow.
So we're just gonna raid them real fast, just because we always do it every stream.
All right, we're gonna end ours while you're doing that. So.
All right, cool.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. We will talk to you soon. Keep your eyes out on our posts on Twitter because we're still waiting for the winner of our
2,000 follower giveaway.
2,000 follower giveaway to respond. She has 24 hours to respond. If she doesn't respond within 24 hours, we're going to redo the giveaway. So keep your eyes posted. All right, everybody? Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you later. Love you guys.
All right, guys, we're rating. And who found... I'll explain what bits are later, but who found... You're wild. Stop it. Thank you. They basically give bits and, like, cheer for us.
Oh. Yay!
And, like, they're cheering for us. Oh.